We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lunch Break Show. I am Josh in studio with Zach, Matt, and Anna Xavier. Also, we have a guest. Brad Nelson is in, the GM of the Lorenzo Hotel. But before we get started, Brad, a quick break. We have to honor one of our very own, Anna Xavier. Has gone away from the 67 different types of visas she could have gotten.
Yep.
Our international correspondent has decided to take the arduous process of not being a citizen, being a green card member, so she still has her heritage, her pride.
Right.
Her international correspondence is still intact, but she can be here for a full-fledged 10 years now.
10
there you
whole
go.
years.
10 more
Yeah.
years.
Congrats.
There you go.
Thank you,
Very well
everybody.
done. Very well done.
Happy to be here.
You did it.
The interview process, the stress, the anxiety. Now you can be and vote in local and small city elections. I mean,
The power. The power.
The hoops you said you had to jump through to get here.
Yeah.
Were fascinating.
Yeah,
but
you kept in touch. You know, I was giving kind of like updates on situation. Actually, it wasn't that hard. For our situation.
Aw.
There's people that wait like 10 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's someone upstairs who's been waiting for like 2 years to get hers, and it's a long process and things and pushback and
Yeah.
applications.
3
and
years
it's a
for
whole
us.
mess. Yeah.
3 years?
3 years.
Wow, 3
Yeah.
whole years. My gosh, people serve shorter prison sentences, Josh. Yeah, wow.
You learn this country.
Yes,
or at
you
least
do.
A lot of things about it.
Well, welcome home.
Well, I want to welcome Brad Nelson, the GM of the Lorenzo Hotel. You're in here because we're talking about the Relativity Bar.
We're talking about the pool.
Yeah, the pool part of the Relativity Bar, and the kolaches. How that's not open, I have no idea. There's a box of pastries and kolaches on the table, and they have not been opened or eaten yet, and that is surprising to me.
They
true.
barely made it down here.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's what I was told, because one of the requests I had when
Yeah.
Brad came down was to bring kolaches. Because I'm a very selfish person, and I want quid pro quo, obviously. And he got here, and I saw no kolaches, and I was going to be nice. I was going to be respectful. But it came up in casual conversation that you brought some, and he left them on the second floor.
I just ratted them out. point
Yeah.
blank.
Oh, no.
And they tore into him.
Listen.
Tore into him. So luckily Samantha was able to grab the box away from the savages upstairs, and we have some scraps in the box that we'll be more than happy to dive into, and I'm sure they taste amazing. So here is, if you're not familiar with the Lorenzo Hotel or the Relativity Bar, here is the back of the shirt, the logo here.
The back of the shirt.
The back of the shirt. Which
good
is
stuff.
The Einstein bar, hence Einstein. Hence the Relativity Bar.
I
It's
got
that,
it.
Yeah. So this is the painting that you see. If you go on after the show, of course, and stroll through our Facebook Live from about, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
2 days ago, you're going to see Brad on there as well, talking with our very own news correspondent, Sarah Strackhouse, about the bar. So now you're here talking about the membership, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a neat idea because we get a lot of requests. The public wants to come, and of course, no one uses the pool or the outlets of the hotel unless they're a guest. So we have a great Sunday Fun Day thing that we do. So we said, why don't we just offer pool memberships for the season? It's $500. It's you and 3 guests. 7-day access from 6 to 11 p.m.
Wow.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a great way to get away. And of course, the bar starts opening on Thursdays. It's definitely work week, so you should go to the bar.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bar. And then we'll start doing cookouts and stuff and whatnot as the season gets on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those cool concepts because, like, you know, for me, I don't have a pool in my backyard. And, you know, you can't really go to hotels. You can't really go to, you know, those kind of places and just use their pool. They tend to frown on that.
They do tend to frown on that.
But this is something that you can do where you go, hey, you know what? I have my membership. I can go to a cool bar with a, you know, cool scene. It's like one of those. I think I saw someone say the hashtag was, it's very Instagrammable.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I didn't even know it was a word.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But it's one thing that people do like to use. I said you have a cool food area, and it's like one of those areas you can kind of like just sit and relax and spend the day. I love the Fun Day Sunday idea, where you're gonna have a live DJ out there playing music, hanging out by the pool, and it's one of those deals that it's only available, if I'm correct, to members of the VIP crowd.
Absolutely. We do a
Yeah.
big VIP push, and then we said, why not include that in the pool membership? That way people get a little extra incentive, and they can come out on Sundays and go to work hurting on Monday.
Exactly. Now, tell me about the concept, because I've seen photos of the bar and the pool. And over the pool, there's little, like, mannequins.
Right.
Oh,
Creepy
yes.
mannequins. but
Yeah. I wasn't going to say creepy because it's your bar. It's your pool. But
No, they're creepy.
The mannequins that are staring down, what was the kind of the concept behind that?
They had some mannequins. They said, let's paint them and put them up on the steel beams. I mean, really, that's how quickly it happened. And then we started putting them everywhere else. So it's they're neat. They're different. When I was we were putting the hotel together, I'd stay on the second floor, and it's right on the roof. Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't tell me they were going to put mannequins up on the second floor roof, so I woke up and opened the blinds, and it's like 4 people staring at you. So that was like, cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Avant-garde. I love
Quite
it.
the welcoming.
That's
It was
great.
quite the welcoming. I was like, oh, creepers.
Yeah. So I'm excited. When is opening day?
Opening day is May 24th, and then Sunday, our first Sunday Fun Day will be on Sunday, May 27th.
And if you're interested in looking at a membership package, where should they go to find that information?
You know, we got it all over the website, so I would just go to lorenzohotel.com. There's a pop-up for it. It's actually called Dive In. So you can just click on it and go on in. It tells you all about the information. Just give us a call or shoot us an email.
Perfect. Brad, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks to the Kalachis. I'll
thanks
be
for having
diving
me.
in right now during our quick break. When we come back, we have a hot take that I want to do, and a question about an expert that said something about babies that I strongly disagree with. That's coming up next on the Lunch Break Show.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
As if we never left. Hello there, folks. I am Josh. Welcome back to the Lunch Break Show. Had some small difficulties. You know, we tried to get clever. We tried to be hip, and it came back to bite us a little bit.
But think about what we learned.
We learned don't try to think things through. They're supposed to be thought through. So before, people had been noticing a little bit of lagging in some of our videos. Mm-hmm. So we called the people that provide us with the internet and said we want more. We want a dedicated server just for the stream.
Oh, yeah.
One internet server that only worries about the stream that you see on your computers and TVs. And that's what we were trying to use. And it was actually worse than before we were sharing internet with the entire building.
Look,
So-
sometimes you got to call your shot. Sometimes you got to swing for the fences. And on occasion, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
In this whole debacle, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Stoker in there who handled this incredibly well.
Thank you.
On top of it,
Yeah.
Like a
I did my
champ.
Man, the
best.
myth, the legend.
And I'm not even going to say that this is any better, because it doesn't
Yeah.
look like it's getting any better.
Really?
But we will soldier on and do our best. And I'm sorry, everyone, that this is probably the worst version of the lunch break you'll ever see.
You can find the upload on YouTube, and it'll probably be a little bit more crisp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We will re-upload this whenever we're done.
So here's first things first. We took a break. Did the Lorenzo. If you want to watch that right now, you can go to the Lorenzo Facebook page and you can watch the Facebook live stream that was done of that show. But for right now, we're getting to a very important part of our news segment here. We're getting into the news with. Oh, my volume's turned down. Into the news with Sarah Trackhouse. Our digital reporter.
Don't do that again.
Yeah. It's hard to do that and then get into serious news.
I know.
It's like-
Sorry. Focused.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. So first, we're starting off with Donald Trump. The date is set. Yesterday, President Trump tweeted, of course, that he's meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Singapore June 12th. So Fox News reports that it's the first ever summit between a U.S. president and a North Korean leader. This comes on the heels of the return of 3 American prisoners who were being held captive in North Korea. They came back this week. Moving on, we're following a story out of Beaumont this morning. A package bomb was set off Wednesday into Thursday on the front steps of an Episcopal church. NBC out of Houston reports that luckily no one was hurt, but it's the second package bomb in the area in less than a month. So people are a little worried. Law enforcement have not said whether the incidents are connected or not, and they have not labeled a suspect yet. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. Moving on, back on Capitol Hill, nominated CIA Director Gina Haspel has had her confirmation hearing. She had it Wednesday. CNN reports that many questions circulate around her views on her interrogation tactics used after 9/11, such as waterboarding and torture, and her role in the destruction of CIA tapes. But others say that she's a great fit, having served 33 years in the CIA as a career CIA agent, and then she'd be the first female CIA director. So she has said in the past that she wouldn't, quote, restart such a detention and interrogation program, but some are not convinced. So no date yet set on her vote.
Here's my only thought to this. I was listening, coming into work one day, I was listening to the BBC or, whatever it is.
Right.
And they were saying that there is one of the 9/11 planners has been captured and was at a black site that she was running at the time. And they were going to call him as a character witness. And she may be great, she may be awful. I have no idea.
Right.
What the qualifications are, what she needs to have to do them. That's in much smarter hands than mine.
Well, a lot of it's also classified, so you can't see a lot of it to the public.
Oh, so even
so you should, yeah.
My only thought is someone who wishes the ultimate destruction and chaos of the United States shouldn't be called in as a character witness over someone who's going to lead a branch of that involves the United States.
Maybe like a written statement. We need to have him in the courtroom.
Even that,
Maybe you're right.
What
I
part
can't
could I
imagine
believe?
him to be too truthful in that situation.
Well, I mean, it's not like she's gonna. She's not ordering the torturing of your run-of-the-mill burglar, right? It's not like that guy robbed a jewelry store. Tie him up. Yeah, let's do it. Obviously, you're gonna torture the big ones. So who are you gonna have?
I like the
who are you gonna have to talk about getting tortured other than the
biggest
king
of them all?
Thieves?
Yeah.
I like how you said obviously. It's one of those
Obviously.
it's
throwaway.
understood, yeah.
I think context is important here because a lot of people are quick to say, well, torture and it's immoral. Besides all that, let's consider the previous administration. Obama had John Brennan running the CIA, and he was pro-torture as well. So,
right.
Yeah. So
I don't know, just something to consider.
Yeah.
And then what was your
There
next
you go.
one?
Yes. Yeah.
There you
Moving
go.
right along.
All right. Moving right along. Kind of an interesting one. The University of Michigan is being slapped with a free speech lawsuit after being one of the many schools to implement a bias response team.
What?
So, yeah, exactly. What is that, right?
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to the Daily Wire, it, quote, polices complaints of microaggression, subtle discrimination, and minor personal offenses. So what that means, basically the response team is a group of administrators that urges other students to report when people hurt their feelings or, quote, infringe on their personal dignity.
Okay.
And students found guilty could be disciplined in a number of ways. They could even be expelled in some cases.
Wow.
I would have never have made it through school. Not because I was a bully.
Yeah.
Because from
Something anyone says could be
like,
taken offensively sometimes.
one of the suggestions that I gave Strackhouse, would this count? Was, oh, you're having such a blonde moment.
Right.
And she goes, that would definitely count. She would go, I'd be put up in front of people and talk, like, what does that mean to have a blonde moment?
Yeah,
I
what are
mean,
you implying?
I think a lot of people are getting real caught up in the weeds on this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being optimistic. But, like, what I'm hearing is if you have a problem with another student, tell a teacher.
But
that's like as old as time.
For example, like at the University of Oregon, just to like kind of show what it, you know, an example.
Yeah.
Apparently, the bias response team, and I'm reading verbatim here on the Daily Wire, waged war against sexy posters in dorm rooms.
Yeah.
So if you had a lot of, I think college, men do that. They're in their own room for the first time or whatever it is. And they have like a poster of like a girl in a bikini. Yeah. Like, so someone, a roommate who just didn't like that poster could say, I feel discriminated, or I feel like that is offensive. And that's what someone could be in front of the disciplinary hearing for.
I understand what you're saying, Zach. The whole, like, it's tell a teacher. But at some point in time, you're not in kindergarten. You're not in the first grade. You're not in the second grade.
Adult.
You're an adult. You can you can buy cigarettes. You can vote. You're old enough to do all of those things. You're old enough to handle a situation as an adult and say something like, man, that is an offensive poster.
Right.
I'm sorry that you're the kind of guy that thinks that's what you have to have up on your wall, and walk away. And that guy may think that you're a bad person, or he may go, let me reevaluate my life because I want to attract girls, and by putting this poster on the wall, if it does not attract girls, then I want to change my approach.
Right.
But going to your RA or your resident advisor or the panel of biased people and saying, hey, this hurt my feelings, or I don't like the way this is done, like that has to stop at some point in time, because you can't work for a school where I can say your shirt offends me.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have to change, because you'll never ever please everybody.
Colleges want to make money, right? Why do they do anything? Like, if a student doesn't have to deal with confrontation, if they don't have to have that personal responsibility, if they can just point and say, oh, hey, why don't you guys sick them, you know?
But the other thing
that
is,
takes the leeway off them, and odds are they're not going to go tell their friends, hey, don't go to this school, and they're going to keep being a for-profit industry. That's just me. Yeah. Hot take. Sorry.
I heard on the radio, so this is not verified, I have not read this anywhere, but I did hear on the radio that it is anonymous, too. So you can't even confront the person and figure it out adult to adult, or 20-year-old to 20-year-old. You can't like talk about it. It's anonymous.
I'm a big believer in the anonymous complaint.
The thing is,
I'm sorry.
See,
here's the issue: is that I think this will help 1% of people who legitimately are being picked on, being bullied, if they're in a lab and like, oh, we don't let, whatever, like if it's a sexist environment or if it's someone who's just being crass and crude. Those cases exist. 100%.
Absolutely.
And they need to be stomped out 100%. But there's going to be a large number, maybe not 99%, but a large number of people who abuse this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's opening a can of worms.
Right. You're kind of treating the symptom and not the disease. You're right.
Agreed.
Yeah. Like, people should be having their own conversations. Like, we shouldn't having to pay professionals to do this. Like, that's absurd. So at the end, ultimately, I do agree with you. Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of movements that I'm trying to make my thoughts here kind of like make sense. Yeah. So at the same time is, if you want to reach a point when people are a bit more self-conscious and are more conscious of one another and more aware of other people's differences and more respectful, you gotta choose some path to start it off, right? And maybe this is not the right one, but these may lead to this me being positive.
At least open the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand what you're saying.
Trying to get to just make a path into the future where's that like it stops being anonymous and it start having like rooms where you can have conversations with professionals. I don't know, but making it into something later. This is the conversation start. I guess that's not fully.
It's a funky way to start the conversation, but I get,
But instead of doing
in this
Right.
way,
Yeah.
but I
Instead
get
of-
the idea.
Instead of having the committee, they need to have a class, a new student class. Because I think every college has like a new student institute or whatever it is. where you-
orientation or whatever,
Orientation.
yeah.
Where part of that is like, hey, your mom and dad aren't around any longer to have these conversations with. You're going to have them with students on your own now. So here's how you do that. Here's how you approach someone. Students, be empathetic. If someone comes to you with a problem they're having, here's how you handle criticism of what you're wearing, doing, behaving, acting, saying. Have that class where you're going to try, and you're going to have clashes, and you're going to have fights, and that's what the RA is for. After you've tried and failed, now we come down, we have a seat, and we get this all worked out. But it shouldn't be a little like secret room that I can go in and put my, Zach's, song he played offended me because it had this word or that word or talked about faith or talked about lack of faith or whatever combination it was.
that you felt your feelings were hurt.
That my feeling or even my, my identity was questioned or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to put that into a box and then walk away going, well, that settles it.
And what if that kid's expelled just because, your feelings were hurt in that moment, and then, sometimes you get over it, you realize, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad. There's bigger things to worry about,
Yeah, how do
and
you go back?
like you affected this other kid,
Yeah.
maybe for life if they were expelled, like because the dean or whoever was looking over that was like, yeah, I was hurt like that years ago. You know what I mean? I could feel like it could snowball.
And it's tough because it really is a case by case basis.
Yeah.
There's
Sure.
a difference
Yeah.
between somebody with a poster in their dorm room and
Right.
like some verbal thing said to
Like
somebody.
a true mean, like
yes.
terrible,
So
discriminatory thing.
It's
Absolutely.
tough to suss out like what is and isn't okay and when this is and isn't necessary. And the blanket approach from university probably isn't the best way to go.
Nope.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We do have one more story.
Oh, great.
Kind of a funny one.
Perfect.
Okay. So we're talking school again, but a teacher's social media post is going viral after he assigned his class to create a resume and cover letter as though they were a Marvel character. So one character, one witty student decided to be, I think you have a
I don't. I was going to grab it, but it's the I am Groot.
Yeah.
Groot
I
from Guardians.
am Groot.
Right.
There you go. Yeah. And you can imagine, what that looked like. He basically wrote Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot, the whole essay. And like the whole resume was like, it says something like special skills. I am Groot, I am Groot. So
Yeah.
everything.
That's my
He got an
only
A. He got an
criticism
A.
of this because I think it's genius.
Yeah.
Is that it's not put in a resume format. It's not like the three
Yeah.
and the space
The
down,
lines
the
and
lines. Yeah, if the lines were all done and it looked like a resume side to side,
And a cute logo at
it
the
just
top.
said I am Groot. Yeah, and just
Right.
said Groot at the top. Yeah, I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But this is just I am Groot, cut and paste, done.
Yep.
So to me,
Yeah, I'm always.
He did get a 95.
Yeah, I'm always so torn on things like that, and maybe it's because my parents are teachers, and my dad specifically high school has run into things like this before, and it's tough because on the one hand,
It's witty.
clever, hey
Creative,
man, you
sure.
figured out a way to beat the system, and that should be acknowledged.
Yep.
I agree. On the other hand, you didn't learn to write a resume. So like, how far'd you get, really? So
Yeah.
for the stuff like that, at least with my pops, because he's asked me a couple times, kids have been clever on like a history report or
Yeah.
something. I'm like, why don't you throw them give them right now like a 70, give them a low C, and be like, do another one, all right? And
Like,
I'll give you
I
an A.
get it. I
Yes.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Funny. Here's a passing grade. Make one that's legit. It doesn't even have to be that good.
Yeah,
Just
and you
show
can
me that
switch
you
it out.
know how to do it, and you got an A. Like that's all you need. That
respect
seems. That seems like enough to me. If you're fine with the C, if you're fine with going as low as possible and putting in the minimal amount of work, then you get the minimal amount of credit because that's what you did. But if you really, really want to show me that you can do what you claimed you can do, here.
I think the I am
Dangle
Groot
that
kid
carrot.
would be totally fine with the C.
Right.
I get the feeling he's
I think he
not
would
the
too. And there you go.
valedictorian. Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Like, problem solved, all right? Nobody feels like they got cheated. No kid that spent 2 hours on that feels like that guy somehow beat the
Yeah.
system. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I would be so angry if I chose, I can't remember Chris Pratt's character now, but if I chose him and I went so into detail and
Star-Lord?
is that what he is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I went so
Do
into
research.
detail and was like, oh, this is an awesome resume, and I got like
Yeah.
a 92, and then
Yeah.
I am Groot kid got 95.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I would be like,
Yeah.
come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So just, set that bar low and make sure. I mean, the kid knew the risk. He knew what he was getting
Yeah.
into, right? He knew he was
Yeah.
taking a
Yeah,
chance.
when you do something bold, you gotta be ready for the
Right, and that should be
potential.
rewarded.
Yeah.
But in the right way. So that's my
We're
opinion.
going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking about the expert the expert that has some baby tips on modesty and decency. All that and more coming back. But first, when you're in break, you're going to be hearing one of our new favorite jingles, and it's all about fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Fried chicken. Fried chicken. Give me fried chicken. Baby, it's all that I want to take me through the day. Give me fried chicken. I want it bona fide, southern fried. Tennessee, guaranteed, it's okay with me. I want it hot, deep fried, I'm on the Memphis side. Hot wings, hot thighs, all southern fried. It all sounds heavenly, this old-time recipe. It's fried chicken, it's finger licking, the time is ticking. So cook some southern food for me, a bucket just for me. This won't feed a family, it's all I want, all I need, just make hastily. Give me fried chicken. Baby, it's all that I want to take me through the day. Give me fried chicken. I want it bona fide, southern fried. Tennessee, guaranteed, it's okay with me. I want it hot, deep fried, I'm on the Memphis side. Hot wings, hot thighs, all southern fried. It all sounds heavenly, this old-time recipe.
And we are back. I hope you like that song. It's one of our songs we have for free. It's one of our jingles. We love it here in studio. Both fried chicken and the jingle itself.
Might be the best one we've ever found.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world is this song?
Yeah.
All about fried chicken? It's good because it gets me in a good mood to prepare for this next segment.
Sure.
And I'm going to try my best not to gripe too much because I tend to do that. But there was a report that came out today from an expert of sexuality.
Sexuality expert.
Yeah, and she was talking about parenting, which a lot of experts love to do, and how you should start teaching your kids about what is okay and what is not okay, even from the earliest age imaginable. And the example that she gave was you should wait for your child to give consent before you change its diaper, his or her diaper.
Okay.
I think we needed
I got
the
a
dramatic...
take on this. Yeah, you've got a take on this, I'm sure.
Yeah. For me, again, I have a 1-year-old. He has never given me consent, verbal consent, to change his diaper, and to my knowledge, any other kind of consent. But he can't, since he can say books, mama, dada, Bo, which is our dog's name, and some other various names. None of them are, yes, you may please change my diaper.
What is that what they're looking for? Is some sort of verbal consent?
Yeah.
Any kind of, like he can say water. He doesn't say water. He says, because we taught him agua. So he says gua. But we know that gua means I want water. So I guess they're wanting like dap. You know, which means like change my diaper.
Or like some visual,
some
facial.
They can do sign language, whatever it is.
Oh my god.
Give you a little, come hither.
Yeah. Our son can do like more, can do like that for like, he can like do sign language. But I guess like whatever the code is for like change diaper, you're waiting for that. And even if they're too young to understand that, they said that an eye contact can let the parent know that they're okay with what's about to happen. I'm so frustrated.
Don't be.
It's
not worth getting frustrated.
People who call themselves experts.
Yeah.
Because this is the biggest bunch of malarkey that I've ever heard in my entire life. I think you should be teaching your kids different things. Like we'll teach our kid when he's old enough the proper names for body parts. We're not going to be like wacky, silly, goofy names.
Sure.
A lot of professionals say that's a good idea, so if something does happen, he can actually say what happened.
Okay.
So those kind of things, I buy into that. Sure, we'll teach them the actual names, the scientific names for what different stuff is.
Yeah.
The appropriateness of when to use it. I'm all on board with that. But saying that my child, when he has an accident he just goes to the bathroom, when he goes to the bathroom, that I have to wait for him to be like, proceed. is utter. It's just health, like sanitary wise, it's not healthy to sit in your own excrement for a long period of time. It's just not a sanitary option. And there's no component of that is like, he doesn't get to say when he eats or when he goes to bed or when he doesn't get a say on anything. Why would he get a say on, now clean me? Like, that makes like no sense to me.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to draw a comparison to the animal kingdom. All right.
Ooh, all right.
Big stretch for some of you, I know. Stay with me. I promise it's okay. I read once, and I don't know if there's a good, real way to get around this, but I'm going to do my best to dance around it.
Tried reading more than once, but
nice.
Funny. Yeah, so, man, totally took the wind right out of my sails. Yes. I read once that there's no such thing as consent in the animal kingdom. It doesn't exist. All right? A duck can't be cool with another duck getting it on. Doesn't happen. And the reason that is because animals don't have cerebellums, and they don't have the ability to give consent like humans do. We like the idea of consent, all right? We do. It's agreeing to an exchange, all right? It's a very human thing. But when a child is born, for the first couple of years, they can't talk, they can't walk, and they don't know what any of these things mean. They're very simple. They don't know what consent is. They don't understand it. We haven't taught them yet. So the idea that your child is supposed to give consent before they even know what it is like expecting your child to turn on a light in a room when they walk in. They don't know. They haven't learned it yet. Kind of a wacky idea that you can just expect them to give consent. Like, consent is just a human thing. Like, we just know.
Right, you're born with this idea that
you have to learn. Okay. Yeah, you have to find out what it is. Like, they don't know yet. So I don't understand what exactly this expert thinks consent would be for a 1-year-old.
It said the eye contact was the biggest like head scratcher, because even if you can wait till your kid is old enough to like form, because in the 1 to 2, he's going to be able to start putting sentences together. Can I have milk? Or those kinds of things, like asking questions. And he could say like diaper change. I need to be changed.
Right.
Sure. But at the end of the day, if he's like, no, I don't want to be changed. And there are several times that you lay him down on the changing pad and he throws a fit, like legs kicking, arms flailing, like as he wants to be playing with his truck, but he had an accident, and you have to change him because it's what you have to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait around for him to be like, well, okay, you can keep playing with your truck until you're ready.
Yeah.
Like what kind of world does that breed? Where now you are the lord of the house, and I am just your caretaker. Like, no.
What are they saying is the benefit to this?
It teaches them at the earliest age imaginable that they're in charge of their own bodies, and they get to determine who they share that with, or who they let see their bodies. Which again, I'm all fine with when they're potty trained. Yeah, I got it. We even started something that I'm kind of on the fence about, and it's not really like a thing that my wife is like, oh, hey, we have to do this. We just kind of started doing it, where we ask, can I have a kiss, please? We don't force a kiss on him or force him to give us a kiss.
Sure.
Yeah. Just can I? It's not like that big of a deal. I don't think he understands the practice, but it's just good for us to get in the habit of asking.
Yeah.
We do that even. Like, I think we go above and beyond what a lot of people would do. And this to me is a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Anna, you got anything on this?
I'm trying.
You've been very quiet over there.
I keep thinking. I mean, like, you can say that up to an extent when they understand what's going on. If they don't understand, like, even let's draw back into your example, the animal kingdom. If the cubs don't get protected and don't have mom around or dad around, of course they're gonna get injured, killed. You know, like, not understanding how nature works. That's why the parents teach them. That's why you have up to a certain age to kind of guide your child and just take the best, like the best kind of. They don't have self-awareness, so we have to make this decision for them.
Yeah, there's a difference between like having the rights to your own body, which of course everybody has, and having the ability to function in society. We have rules. There's reasons we do the things we do, all right? Odds are, whoever's watching this, you probably didn't want to wake up and come to work this morning. We all did, because this job's awesome, But like maybe if you're at a job you're not super into, you probably didn't want to get up and go to work. You probably would have rather slept in. You probably would have rather have done nothing. But you did because you understand that in order to function and get through life as we know it, you kind of have to. It's just something you have to do. And that's Josh looking out for his kid. You're looking out for him. You're like, I have to do this for him. He doesn't know any better, but I gotta.
To change your diaper.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold your legs down while you're kicking around.
Yes.
Trying to keep your hands. For some reason, your hands always want to go to the mess.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to fight on that with you. I'd much rather play cars. But no, you're dirty.
If you weren't there to do that and he just did what he wanted, where would he be?
Yeah. Sick.
Not great.
Yeah.
So I get what this expert's saying, I guess. You're kind of wrong a little
Yeah,
bit.
there's a time and a place for what she's saying.
Of
It's
course.
just not when they're an infant.
Yeah, they don't know any
It makes
better.
no sense. When,
Right.
they're 8, 9, 10 years old, sure. Like, even younger, 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
Have a conversation about their bodies and what that means and how they're in control of it and how, no one should be able to see any of these, whatever. Like, have that chat. Sure, 100%.
Yep.
Make them woke. But when they're an infant, like, just keep them safe. Keep them from being ill. And it's your job to make sure no one's left alone with them where that could happen.
Right.
So, take a quick break. When we come back, because I do want to get to this last topic. We had an outing last night, yesterday for lunch, and it got a little weird. And I want to come to that, but first, I'm going to play you a quick clip during our break of the Boston Dynamics?
Boston Dynamics.
And they've made a robot. And I want you to tell me what's more impressive, the running or the jumping? We are back. To me, the most important, we had a quick chat list was going on. The more impressive thing, if you're watching this in audio only, I apologize. There is a robotic human, it looks like a humanoid.
Android?
A hand, arm, leg thing, running through the woods. And it looks kind of like the, if you ever played football or like in PE, the guys like me, the heavier set guys, that's how they like jog, as like minimal effort really, like just hands are basically moving and it's just a faster walk than normal.
Well, it turns out, as far as robots are concerned, that's the most efficient way to do it. So you were doing it right the whole time. Yeah. That's as good as it gets.
And then the jump, that he jumps over a log. I think the jump's the most impressive.
Good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So
it's
you
impressive.
can go and find that video. I'm sure just Google Boston Robotics robot running through woods and you'll
Boston Dynamics. Yeah.
Boston Dynamics, that's the one. So before we close out the show today, and again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties we've been having. I promise you, Matt hasn't said but like 6 words today. He is so
like
he is
everything
so
is like
upset.
burning in here. Things are falling apart.
We
I'm ready to
apologize.
go.
Yeah, we apologize. We
punt
promise
on this one.
We promise Monday will be a much sorry, I can't promise. We're gonna try to make Monday a much smoother show. Before we go though, yesterday for lunch, Matt and Zach and I went to the East Hampton Sandwich Company.
Yes. Anna would have come with, but she wasn't here.
Yeah, she wasn't
We
here.
launched as a
But
team.
we didn't intentionally leave you out.
Exactly. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Anna stayed here
Alone
to
in
work.
the
The
Yeah.
three
studio.
guys. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Dark.
Yeah, Anna was out yesterday. So we went out for lunch. And this is weird. This is weird because as we were approaching our destination, again, we'd all had set in here talking about our sandwiches we were going to have.
Oh, we were
on the
looking at the
website.
menu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was planned out.
We were laser focused.
Yeah.
We had our goal in mind.
Yep.
And I will say, I've literally never had this situation happen to me in my life.
Yeah.
We carve time out of our workday to make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And so we get to the place, we park, we're walking up in this kind of line of shops, right? Who wants to take this? I don't want to.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, I didn't hear what she said.
Okay, good.
Please,
So we're
yeah.
walking up, and I think it's Matt has his hand on the door, opening the door to the East Hampton Sandwich Company.
We're reaching for the door.
Yeah. And then this woman pops out of nowhere as if like a 1990s magician, like opens the door
Next to
and
him.
goes,
Yeah.
which they're right next to each other,
Yeah.
And says, "Can I question you? No, can I find a way for you to come into my
It
store?"
was like, are you guys coming in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like saying, "Are you sure you want to go in there? We're open in here." And like she was trying to like siren song us because I think she was one of those girls who thought, she's attractive, fine,
Yeah.
blonde hair, but she was trying to like, "Hey guys, come on in here."
Sure.
No, like that's not working on me. We've been dreaming about a Cuban sandwich,
Yeah.
and you are in no competition with.
Right.
But it's just weird. It was weird that she popped out and like
I've
tried to like
never-
lure us
Yeah.
into it. Like I've been overseas, and I've been even like New York or in San Francisco, where shop owners will stand outside of their restaurant with either like a sample or talking about the
Or
deals
with
they have.
menus.
Menus,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that, and that's fine. I get that. It's a little annoying, but I get that. I don't get the surprise attack. Like I'm going to lay in wait behind the limo tent door,
Yeah.
and wait till you're about 4 steps away, and then like pop out and go, "Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?" As if you're going to like startle me into making a split decision to come into your place. If anything, if I was going to your place, I would be so creeped out I would no longer go.
Well,
Yeah, right.
I've
What if
never
you were
had
going
the-
for it?
Yeah, I've never had the carnival barker style at
Yeah.
a restaurant. I mean, I've walked through the farmers market where people are constantly yelling, "Hey, come try this, come check this out," and this and that. But I've never had somebody pop out of a door like a Jack in the Box,
Yeah.
and say, "Are you coming in here?"
Yeah.
Like, no, absolutely not. I'm not coming in here. One, you just startled me, and
Yeah.
two, like this brash approach has put me off of your establishment for the rest
Quite
of
some
time.
time.
Yeah,
guys,
Right.
I have 2 questions for you.
Please.
Yeah.
yeah.
One, was the place empty?
Yes.
Oh,
They had,
yeah.
they had 5 people in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see the inside. There were a
counted.
couple people sitting on the patio.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
there's a rule that if you see no one inside a restaurant, you're like,
yeah,
it's a
sure.
no-no. So maybe it could be like the starting point, and she's like the pressure.
But then
right?
that's the deal. Then give us some apps. Like, hey
and
guys, you
that
want to
would
come
be
here?
my second question is, what did she offer?
Nothing.
If she
Nothing.
offered nothing, all she did was like,
Yeah.
come here.
You sure you're not coming in here?
Yeah, just
No,
a
I'm
pretty face
absolutely
and a smile.
To be fair, if she had used that tactic and offered something, what could she have offered you that you would have been like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go for that. What, free chips and queso?
Free dessert.
If
I
she
would go
had
for
a
it.
free Cuban in there, I'd have gone in there.
Well, she doesn't read minds, Josh. She wouldn't know.
Sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, sandwich. You have a free sandwich. I will take that.
To top this off, when we were leaving, because I was like,
Oh, there's more.
oh yeah,
yeah.
there's more. When we were leaving, because I wanted to see, is she still there? Is she still lying in wait? At this point, I feel like prey, and I'm looking around for predators in my environment. So we're walking out the door, and I just glance over my shoulder back through the window, which you can kind of see through.
Limo tent, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. But you could see through it a little bit if it was lit. And sure enough, she's standing there at the hostess stand, looking dead in my eyes, and just gives me one of these. A little nod.
That knowing
That-
nod.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm still here.
We'll
I'm
see,
still
we'll
here.
see you next time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which just creeped me out even further. Like, I leave me alone. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I gotta say, guys, there's also, and I'll be ready. There's also the possibility that she recognized you from the
that's
lunch
true.
break
Oh,
That
wow.
is true.
show.
I will say this: we asked the guy who came in after us.
Yeah.
I
Right.
turned and I said, "Hey, so sorry to bother you. I want to know, were you accosted as we were outside of the door entering?" And he said no.
Not till I got in here.
All right.
Yeah. And so my
I am now.
yeah.
But-
So my theory was that she saw us like these are a couple of slouches, couple of slackers.
These schlubs.
Yeah, that I can flip my hair back and go, "Hey boys,"
My
and
feminine
they'll-
wiles will
oh yeah,
charm
yeah.
them.
And to be fair, did we say the name of this place?
Like the tavern,
the Republic,
yeah, the
tavern
Republic,
and
yeah.
tap or something.
Yeah.
To be fair, looking at the people that seem to be around the Republic versus the people in East Hampton, we might have fit in better with the Republic crowd.
Maybe.
They're a little bit more chill. East Hampton, they're wearing like polos and pastels.
Yeah.
Very fancy. They had a thing on the wall that said, "Where do you summer?"
Yeah.
So
Here.
to be fair,
I summer
but we
here,
had,
idiot.
We had decided it's lunch. Like we know where we're
Yeah.
going. We don't need you to kind of swoop in and change our plans. Now
Yeah.
that being said, Anna, if she had said, "Oh my God, the guys from the lunch break," I'd have been like,
dude,
"Well, we
I'd have
got
been
it
there
right here."
immediately.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That'd be a story, but that didn't happen. So.
It did not happen. And then before we sign off, the reason why we brought up the story is because as we were talking about dinner, we were talking about the ever struggle, the struggle about tipping. And Zach brought up a good point. Me and Zach are both ex-servers. Matt, did you ever work at a restaurant?
No, I didn't.
I got to be honest. Technically, I was never a server. I was never waiter material.
What were you?
I was a host for 9 months.
Let's make the
Never,
difference here.
never made the leap. Yeah, I wasn't qualified to be a waiter like all the. I don't want to get into it.
At Chewy's?
I'm a little bitter about it. Yeah,
I can tell.
I
can tell. So anyway, so we're talking about the ever how because the tipping. So the theory is here in the United States, if someone does a bad job, you tip them poorly. If they do a great job, you tip them higher.
Right.
So if they're having a bad day, and that's what Zach brought up, because I always have a struggle with if they're having a bad day, do I tip them more so they were having a better day? Or if trying to find that balance. And so there, just so happened an article came out that had the top 10. It had all 50 states and where they rank, but the top tipping states in America. Number 1 surprised me. Wyoming.
Wyoming.
They tipped 23%.
Wow.
My mind is racing through the Rolodex of Wyoming jokes I've got. None of them are acceptable.
There's like 3 restaurants.
None of them are good for this show, so I'll just let it slide.
The only thing I can think about with that is that there's a lot of oil money there, and it's just they don't care about But yeah, 22%. Number 2 is Idaho with 18%.
Yeah.
Okay.
What in the
so
world?
that part of the country is just
number 3
jam-packed with cash to give away.
Yeah.
I guess.
Number 3 is Nebraska. 1, 2, and 3 are states I've never been to or care to go to.
Are those all on the north side of the United States?
Yeah, north.
West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Nebraska's directly.
What was the last list we had with like? It was another show we're doing. Best healthcare, and we had the 50 states listed and which ones had the best healthcare.
Yeah.
Southern, all at the bottom of the
they're
list.
all
Northern, all at the top.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if this list coincided with that. Maybe it was an income thing. I don't know.
Who knows? Wow. But that was our question. Is as far as tipping goes. And I thought you brought up a good point. I like to tip to hopefully it improve their mood. But then again, if you give them a bad tip, it lets them know, hey, I need to up my game.
Right.
And so how do you walk that line?
But then,
and go ahead.
Sorry, I gotta ask because obviously as a foreigner, I also always struggle with how much do I tip? Do the math in my head.
Yeah.
Embarrassing long amount of time.
At least
by the
you
way.
tip because you could easily get out of it.
Oh no, you can't.
Oh yes, you can. You have an accent. You could just be like, "Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry," and bail and not tip.
I know people
you could
that
totally
have been
be that
chased.
person.
I know people that have been chased.
Okay, if you chase me down for a tip, you're definitely
I don't
not
know.
getting a tip.
Someone, this story was told to me.
Yeah.
And so this person really got aggressive with this foreigner person too. Like they were not obviously American, and so they were like not used to tipping. So this person chased him down the street, and I was like, what was wrong? What was wrong? Why didn't you tip us? And I'm like, what do you mean? And like whole altercation, and the person would not let him go. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But my question, I kind of forgot, I guess.
I didn't know where I was going with that.
The question was the tip in America is 15% is the low average, and then 20% is the high bougie average.
Where did Texas?
I don't know. We weren't top 10.
We weren't top 10.
I
and that's
didn't
what
dig
matters.
far enough down.
I know.
That's very sad, Texas.
It's tough because you're putting the onus on society, really just people individually, to determine whether or not positive or negative feedback is the best way to reward or punish another stranger. Like, who knows, right? Like, I have no idea if this guy's having a bad day or is just a bad person, you know? And I don't know whether or not giving him a big tip would help him turn around or giving him a bad tip would make him think maybe I should change something. You have no idea. There's no way to know. We'll never know,
Never
right?
know. Yeah. The as we sign off, the best tip I've ever seen, and then by best I mean the worst. When I was a waiter at the Jalapeno Tree in East Texas, there was a guy who was an awful server. Just for the record, he was a bad server. He one time, this is the best worst tip I've ever seen. Received 9 cents, a nickel, and 5 pennies. That's four pennies.
Yeah.
And the note said, "You're not worth a dime."
Wow.
And I was like,
That's really good.
That's
really good.
That is the best way that you go, hey, you know what? I didn't forget to tip you. I'm not a bad tipper.
Just so you know.
You're lousy.
What if the food was good? How do you make the distinction?
You've paid for the food. The food's paid for.
But I thought when you tip, you're also tipping the kitchen staff.
Not here. At my restaurant, that if you tip, you just tipped us.
I think a lot of places are like that, though. They split tips with
tip out.
We always had to tip out with bartenders. I thought it was lame. They spend they open up one bottle of beer. Like, well, let's have my tip.
Yeah.
Anyway, side note, we'll get on that in a whole other day. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. We'll be uploading
put the
this
show
again.
out of its misery, please.
Yeah, we'll be uploading this again on YouTube here in about a few hours. You can find it there. You'll always be able to find the clean audio as always on wherever podcasts are found. I am Josh. This is Zach, Matt, and Anna. Thank you so much for struggling with us today during the lunch break show. Have a fantastic day.